Okay, so I've already shown you how to make tux bows. With this video, because I struggle with depth perception myself and getting things in alignment, and I've noticed that quite a few struggle when they first get started, that their bows tend to sort of pinch either to the left or the right, usually depends on which one is your more dominant hand, and a lot of people don't even realise that they're doing it until somebody actually points it out to them. I'm going to show you how to sort of get your tux bows in perfect alignment as much as humanly possible with some tricks that I use, because knowing that I have this issue, I do a couple of things just ever so slightly different to sort of help me keep everything straight and centered and stop it happening for myself, and I'm going to pass those little tips on to you. So there you go. There's the, like I said, can you see how even it is both sides? And if you do this, you'll be able to see that it is the perfect size, both sides. Like I said, one that's made ready to go. Works on your double tuxes, layered, printed tuxes, patterns, plains, everything. These will all be stitch ones because it does work better with stitched. With gluing, you just have to concentrate a whole lot harder. So I'm just going to go straight in and show you how to do it. And I'm going to do some 3-inch tux bows, which will be 12 inches long. I'm going to do a couple of double tuxes as well for you. Okay, so I've got this really, really pretty ballerina print here, and this will probably make some of you laugh, but hair straighteners are actually a really, really useful tool when working with ribbon. And these are my old cleaned GHTs that I used to have back in the day, and I've also got a little crease in this from where it was folded when it came from the supplier. So all you do, gently run that over like that so it takes out that crease, and this is how I get mine centered. So fold it directly in half, and there you go. You see? So that is perfectly middled, and I'm going to do it on all my pieces ready because I like to have everything in place so I can just put my pins in and things like that and go straight at it. So there's that one. And again, I'm going to do these mini ones. This will be the 1-inch double tuxes, and I use 7.5 inches because I like the little extra flare than on a standard sizing. Like I said, line it up, use them to put your crease in. You can also use your hair straighteners to put heat transfers on, and also if you've made a mistake on your ribbon and you need to take things apart, get your unpicker out, take your thread, and just do what I did with that first piece of ribbon. Just run your straighteners over it. It also sort of gently heat seals the holes where the threads are so they won't fray. So that's everything creased with your hair straighteners. Just turn them off and put them out of the way. So we'll start with the 3-inch ribbon. And I'm just going to start with the white first, and I'm going to purposely use black thread so you can see the stitches really well as well. But the other trick I use is circles. So what you do is you make a circle shape, and you only want a tiny little overlap. So you want like maybe 1/2 centimetre, and pin it right in the middle, like so, just like that. And then what I do is, because of how clear that crease is, you can line that up perfectly right against the crease, pin it back through, right through the crease line in there, so it pins all your layers, like so. And to still make sure that this is lined up before you even start getting your stitches in, fold it in half like this, and these will always line up perfectly. And then I just give it an extra pinch so I know that that is perfectly in a line. So when I start my stitches, that crease that I put in is so clear that I can stitch straight down there and know that it's not going to go off to one side either direction, and it's going to help my centre sit nice and, like I said, not go slightly to one side or the other. I'll just show you again. So like I said, you do your circle. I have heat sealed all my ribbon beforehand. So like I said, get your little pin, just 1/2 centimetre overlap. Bring it together like so, line it up perfectly with that crease behind it. Pin straight through your crease line. Make sure it's all lined up top and bottom. And then you fold it in half. Make sure it's all lined up. And do that. Okay, and like I said, perfectly centered those, and I'll show you on the small ones. And this one, I've done the exact same thing, only instead of pinning, I've put a touch of this glue, and it's a high tack trim glue. It dries completely clear. The good thing about it though is it is really thin, and it's still easy to stitch through. And you do exactly the same thing. You pin it like that, and then you can do your stitches straight through, because like I said, it's perfectly lined up with that other side. So I'll show you the stitches, and like I said, I purposely got black thread so you'll be able to see nice and clearly. Keep your pin in for your first stitch, and I always have to remind myself for a second. So from above, 1, 2, take the pin out, 3, 4, 5. When you're getting your stitches in, do remember you still need to keep these as nice and even as you can, because if you can get your bumps even as well, your cardigan fold, that will help the middles as well. So as you can see, there's my stitches. I did do extra long thread, so I didn't have to. What you do is, before you start wrapping, cinch it, and can you see you've still got your perfect crease straight down that centre. And again, it's another guide for you to use when you're wrapping, because you can go right over that, and again it will help to keep it nice and in place. And I do that round a couple of times and then do a stitch off, and I'll show you on the ballerina one as well. So there we go. Stitch them all off. And as you can see, you've got your creases in. It's in alignment. If you think it's even gone slightly off, all you need to do, because you've stitched it as well, is you can move it back in place perfectly. So there's one. I'll just rethread this. We'll do the ballerina one, and then I'll show you the second trick, which is making sure your tuck's bows are aligned by using this trick and another one, so you know that they're always even as well. Okay, so like I said, you always start from above on your tuxes. Use your crease line that you put in. You'll be able to see it more than on my camera. So 1, 1, 2, and I still count my stitches even when I'm not speaking to you guys and showing you what I'm doing. 3, 4, 5. Okay. So in, 1, 2, out. Okay. I don't know how clear you can see that. It's not as good as on the white one, but you'll still get the idea. And again, cinch it before you wrap. So there you go. Cinch. Get your line from before and wrap. And if this happens where it does that, just push it back up. Wrap round a couple of times and back stitch. Hopefully some of you will find this useful. Like I said, it took me so long to actually get these completely centred, and like I said, it is a skill that is really useful because your tuck bows will look 1,000 times better once you've actually learned to keep this going all the time. Because again, and like I said, you'll probably get sick of me saying it, that stitch in, 1, 2, out to get your 3 creases is probably one of the most important stitches you will learn when making bows. So there you go. Like I said, again, perfectly centered, both sides exactly equal, and there we go. Pretty ballerina. And we're going to do the double tuck bows now, and like I said, I'll remain with the black thread so you can see my stitches because it's slightly different. It's basically 2 stitches less on these. But it's the same centre process. Let's tie that off. So exactly the same as before, you want your circle shape. So just the tiniest overlap. Like I said, it's even less than a half centimetre here, just like 1/4 of a centimetre maybe. 1/4. Pin as before. Straight to that crease line. Line it up. Pin right on your crease and back through all your layers. And there's one perfectly aligned. Like I said, don't be afraid to check by folding it in half, making sure they're perfect. Okay, so there's one. We're going to do all 4 because like I said, like everything ready as I'm stitching. And like I said, once you get into the habit of this, you won't even have to think about getting this. You'll just automatically just do the 1/4 centimetre every time. Like I said, line it up, straight through all your layers, directly on that crease. Fold it in half. Make sure it's all lined up. And then if you put those both on top of each other, if you've got your sizes right and you've not cut anything short or anything like that, they will all line up perfectly, like so. We'll do the black. And I've purposely done silver edged for you today, so you could see it as I was pinning and doing the creases, etc. So like I said, 1/4 of a centimetre. Line it up directly with that crease we put in earlier. Pin through all your layers. Fold it in half. give it another little pinch and get you all lined up. And last one. Quarter centimetre, pin, straight there, one, two, straight through all your layers. Make sure your crease is lined up like I said. There you go. Check against your other one. So there you go. There's those. And I'll do the white one first because I've got my black thread ready for you. Just put them to one side. And from above, in, do make sure you've got all your layers. There you go. Straight through your crease. One. Take your stitch out, now you've got one through. Like I said. On. And out. And that is your, like I said, we'll thread that through. Second one. Like I said, from above. Straight through that crease. Do make sure you've caught all your layers. One, in, out, over, and through. And like I said, perfectly centred on both pieces. And like I said, the other thing to do before you've pulled or cinched anything is, can you see between my fingers? In alignment. In alignment. If you fold them in half still in alignment. And like I said, that's where, like I said, this technique really helps, because like I said, it will just keep everything exactly where it should sit before you do it. And again, because you've got such clear creases, when you even cinching like this, you can use that to wrap your thread again, and it will help you keep this middle as well. So like I said, wrap it around at least 3 or 4 times. And the other good thing about using stitching instead of glue is if your middles, you can see here, is going slightly to one side or the other. What you can do before you finish doing your back threads or anything like that, don't be afraid to do this. Make sure it's back on that central crease. Fluff it all. Nicely, like so. And then you can put your back stitch in. Once you're confident it's 100% where you want it to be. Okay, one. And I always go through both pieces just so it holds tight together once I'm certain. 2. Like I said, fluff it a little. Centre it if you're not quite happy. And there we go. Centred double tucks. And I've got my white stitch ready for you to show you on this black. And again, straight through, make sure you're getting all your layers. 1, 2, can just see that's just slipped slightly and I've missed one. So just go back, catch it. There we go. It's better. The thread's just gone slightly off, so just correct that. Okay, that's better. Next piece. Right, straight through the crease, get all your layers, take that pin out, crease again, and out. As you can see, in, one, out, in, one, out, line up, all perfect. Can you see how even that is? Again, cinch, use that crease that you've naturally got there. One, two, three. Fluff everything. Like I said, don't be afraid to adjust it slightly if it's not quite how you think it should be. And then once you're happy, do your back stitch off. Like I said, go through both layers so it stays sitting how you want it. Two. There we go. Like I said, till you've got those middles on and you've glued everything, don't be afraid to do this. And like I said, even go so far as, like I said, doing that. And again, if you want to be doubly certain that everything's how it should, you can literally take it like so and fold it like this. And as you can see, there, there, and like I said, so when you put your middle in, it will automatically just sit more centered and look that little bit nicer. So let me do a bubble on it for you. Try to be organised today, actually keep everything near my desk. Okay. Right. Okay, Diva glue gun. Just a touch. Bubble right over its little crease there. Sealed end against the bow. There we go. And then one, two, cut the excess off because I never quite measure these right. Heat seal that. Touch your glue there. And again, even at this point, I will still want both of the edges to show. So there you go. One double tuck bow, all complete on a bubble. Do a white one, finish that. Do like and subscribe and hit the notice button, because I do tend to do at least at the moment 2 videos a week, mostly on Tuesday because that is my main day for bow making, but I do randomly put stuff up during the week as well. I also have a Facebook page group under the same name, and I'm always happy to help absolutely anyone. If there's anything you're struggling with from videos and you want more advice, there is no stupid questions. I will answer anything you could possibly wish for, and I will even sit there doing live tutorials and help you learn as much as humanly possible, because I want everyone's bows to be where you guys want them. I'm always happy to help. Like I said, twice wrap round. Cut that off. Heat seal. And I'll get a glue gun. I will add the link for the original tucks, no sew and sew method. So like I said, this is basically just an extension of that video. Like I said, even then, still adjust things. And there you go, another aligned double tucks. I'll put the middle on this and do a clip. Okay. Put glue there. Try and get your clip as centred as possible as well. It helps the balance. Dark glue there. That was just my glue gun falling over, excuse the noise. Right in the middle of your clip, right in the centre of your and one. I'm going to have to do this round 3 times, because otherwise you're going to see the black thread underneath. Two. And just enough for 3. Okay, dark glue there. Open your clip. And again, don't be afraid, even at this point, like I said, if you think you've uncentralised it, to keep adjusting until it's just where you want it. There you go. Hope this was useful for you. Thank you. Bye.